Biden is expected to formally announce he's running for re-election. May do it as early as Tuesday. CBS News has also learned he has chosen one of his senior advisors to run his campaign. Our Ed O'Keefe has the latest.
With all signs pointing towards a Tuesday launch of his re-election, President Biden remained coy this afternoon when asked about it.
Stay tuned.
But he was acting like a contender, focusing on the issue of gun violence in a meeting with the Tennessee Democratic lawmakers recently ousted for protesting on the floor of their state house. And at an event honoring the National Teacher of the Year, Mr. Biden also blasted Republicans for meddling in schools, something potential Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis has been accused of.
I never thought, as a student of history, I never thought I'd be a president who was fighting against elected officials trying to banning books. Empty shelves don't help kids learn very much.
Once his re-election is announced, with a brief video release expected, senior aide Julie Chavez Rodriguez will run the campaign. Her first challenge, getting Democrats on board. Polls show a majority of Americans believe Mr. Biden shouldn't run again, his age being a major factor. But the same polling shows 60% of Americans also don't want former President Donald Trump to run, leading his top anticipated rival, Governor DeSantis, to say it's time for Republicans to move on.
We reject the culture of losing that has infected the Republican Party in recent years.
And Ed O'Keefe joins me now. Ed, so what's your read? What do you make of the president's pick for campaign manager?
So important to know that the president's been surrounded by a group of aides for, in some cases, more than 20 years. People like Anita Dunn, Mike Donnellan, Bruce Reed, Steve Ricchetti. These are names that Americans don't necessarily know, but for those who cover the White House or cover the president, these are the people around him who help make decisions. All of them are expected to stay put here at the White House and split their time between running official duties and campaign duties. But Julie Chavez Rodriguez, the daughter of Cesar Chavez, or granddaughter of Cesar Chavez, a labor leader and civil rights leader who's been active in Democratic Party politics and who only joined the president's inner circle as an assistant and special or senior advisor, as the title is, about a year and a half ago, is being asked to step out, go run the campaign day to day, and essentially deal with the nuts and bolts, the hiring, the scheduling, the real mechanics of a campaign, while that other group of people is going to hang here at the White House for the most part and focus on the big picture issues alongside the president.
And Rodriguez has ties to the vice president, which will be important in a campaign.
Exactly.
Always that tension, delicate balance between the principal and the vice president. Speaking of the delicate balance, what will President Biden's biggest hurdle be, do you think, in trying to both campaign and also govern?
Well, you know, that is one thing we are waiting to see about is sort of when is it an official event and when is it a campaign event. I think what we're going to see him do tomorrow is a good example of what we'll see a lot of over the next year and a half. He's going to speak to a major trade union meeting here in Washington. Labor unions have been the backbone of his campaign since he ran for the Senate in the 1970s. He's going home to the people who've helped put him in the White House to deliver a basic economic message in contrast with Republicans, remind people why it is they should be hanging with him and not switching to Republicans. There's been concern about union members doing that. But as one aide familiar with all this put it to me, he's going to be educating voters, not overtly campaigning to them in that setting. The campaign events will come later. We are expecting him to go and do traditional campaigning, not unlike what he was able to do in 2020 because of the pandemic. There won't be car rallies. There will be people rallies in arenas and whatnot, glad handling and going out there and talking to people. But they learned in 2020, as any campaign did, that you can reach voters virtually, and you should do it that way to some extent. So expect some hybrid. But in order to tackle the age concerns, which are the biggest issue now in polling as to why people don't want him to run, they're going to have to put him out there to suggest vibrancy, some sense of energy, and an ability to connect with people of all ages.
And that might even include a press conference, which he hasn't had for quite some time.
God forbid. Yeah, that would be nice.
Ed O'Keefe on the White House lawn. Thank you, Ed.
Take care.